Hi class, welcome back. In this screencast, I wanted to give you some tips and tricks on how to complete your homework. So let's go to one of the first couple homework assignments. So I'm going to click on the homework tab and I'm going to click on section 2.2 homework. Remember the due date is June 19th for that homework. I started this just so that I could show you some examples. So I did the first 3 problems. So if you look at question 1, the first question, it's going to show you the question. This was a multiple choice question. After constructing a relative frequency distribution, summarizing IQ scores of college students, what should be the sum of the relative frequencies? And the answers were here. You can see that my correct answer is a green check mark. I can click on this try again button if I wanted to practice this again. I got this question right, so I'm going to move on. Question number 2, I also got right. I wanted to show you that some of these questions have multiple parts. This one, all the parts are showing. This was 3 different answers, and I had to put my answers in, and these were all correct. You can see the green check mark. I got all the credit for this. If I click on similar question, it will generate another question. It will have different values, but it will be similar questions, actually the exact same questions, possibly different answers based on the numbers. Now this next question I got wrong. So I wanted to show this to you. This also has 3 parts to it. So I answered the first question wrong. This is not the wrong answer that I answered. This is the correct answer. If I right click on this, it will show me what my answer was. And if I click on this get feedback, it will give me some instructions on how to complete this. So I got this question wrong. And then I got the second part wrong as well. Once again, if I right click on each of these boxes, it will show me what I answered, which was incorrect. The answer that is showing right here is correct. So I got these answers wrong, and I want to get this right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up nonsense answers in here. And I'm going to, it's going to give you, my MATLAB gives you multiple choice chances, but I'm going to get these all wrong because I already have the first 2 parts of this question wrong, and I want to get this question right. So what I'm going to do is once I did my final check, I'm going to click on similar question. And this is going to give me the opportunity to start over. So what is the class width? After you do your readings, you're going to realize you're going to subtract these 2 lower classes. 4.0 minus 2.0 is 2. So the class width is 2. I got the answer right. I'll click OK. It's going to pull up the next question. So suppose I see this question, what are the class midpoints? And I don't know this answer. I don't know how to find these midpoints. I want to point out this box over here, question help. If I click on question help, this gives me many options. I can click on help me solve this. This will give me some guidance. So this actually goes back to that first question to identify the class width. And if you just follow through this, there are 10 points, and read this and answer the questions as they go along. Answer this as 2, check answer. And this will walk you through it. The next one, it's going to give you a little bit of instruction. You read the instructions and then answer the question. To find the first class midpoint, we're going to add the lower class limit and the upper class limit, add them together to divide by 2 to get your answer. So the question help, that was help me solve this. view an example is going to give you an example which you could load on this page and have side by side. It's not the same numbers that are in our example, but it's a similar question, and it will help you walk through the certain steps. You could look at animation. If you click on textbook, that takes you to the actual pages in your textbook that will explain these concepts. This button is really important. If you click on Ask My Instructor, this is going to send an email directly to me with a link to this question. So you don't have to retype the question. I will know what question you're answering or trying to answer, and you could type a message to me. Something like, Mrs. Dunn, I keep getting this wrong. And then proceed to give me some examples. I thought that you added the upper limit and the lower limit and divided by 2, or I thought we should subtract and I'm getting it wrong. But try to be specific so that I can give you some good guidance. And then you simply click on send, and it will send that message to me. Lots of students use that button, and don't be afraid to use it at any time. I will try to email you back as soon as possible. I promise to email you back within 24 hours. Realize if you're doing your homework at midnight, I'm probably in bed and not sitting next to the computer, so don't expect an immediate response, but I will respond to these in a very timely fashion. You could also click on this print. Some students don't like doing their homework online. If you're one of those students that don't like to do them online, you can print them out, and you're still going to have to submit your answers online, but you can do it on paper and pencil and then put your answers in there. This indicates that you can print just this question out. If you click on this circle, then you can print the entire homework assignment, which a lot of students like to do if you have an endless supply of paper and ink. So don't be afraid to click on this question help. There's a lot of really cool tools in there. Play around with it. Don't be afraid to click on any of those buttons. Another thing I want to indicate is you want to pay attention to the instructions. Here it says type an integer or a decimal. So make sure when you're writing your answer, you're using the form of the answer that my math lab is asking. A lot of times students think that they're putting the right answers in there, but they are not following those directions. So that's another one of my hints. Good luck. Feel free to email me if you have any other questions.